Father which art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy will be done.
thy will be done
In earth.
in earth
As it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread,
And forgive us of our debts.
and forgive us our debts,
And forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation,
But deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom,
And the power.
and the power,
And the glory.
and the glory,
Forever.
forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Alright, Q&A, question and answers. Yeah, anything in regards to lesson, or any question that we may just have in general. You got the first shot.
Okay. First Chronicles 23:28, and then I was wondering about the duty of the Levites and what it meant the purifying of all holy things. What kind
It's about to die. You can get it when we get ready to ride. Alright, so about the Levites, and say it one time, say it one time.
what their role is, and specifically what's the part about the purifying of all holy things. What is that they're supposed to do?
Okay, First Chronicles,
23 and 28.
okay. First Chronicles 23 and verses 28.
Yeah.
28 through, alright. Let's start at, let's start at 24. Well, let's start at 14, then we'll skip around. Go ahead.
Now concerning Moses, the man of God, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom, Eleazar. Of the sons of Gershom, Shebu, it was the chief.
So we're looking at, Moses, the man of God, his sons were named of the tribe of Levi. So, what we're dealing with the Levitical priesthood. Skip down to 24 and read that.
These were the sons of Levi, after the house of their fathers, even the chief of the fathers, as they were counted by number of names by their polls, that did the work for the service of the house of the Lord.
So they did work. The Levites, they were the ones that did works for the service of the Lord. They actually took care of all sacrifice and things to that effect. Keep going.
From the age of 20 years and upward.
So that's 20 years upward. Sit down, okay? I'm not gonna tell you again. So they was 20 years old and upward when they was able to start performing services for the Lord. Keep going, verse 25.
For David said, the Lord God of Israel hath given rest unto his people, that they may dwell in Jerusalem forever. And also unto the Levites, they shall no more carry the tabernacle, nor any vessels of it for the service thereof.
Go ahead.
For by the last words of David, the Levites were numbered from 20 years old and above.
So they was numbered. That was age. That's what we saw in verse 24. But keep going though.
Because their office was to wait on the house, on the sons of Aaron for the service of the house of the Lord, in the courts, and in the chambers, and in the purifying of all holy things, in the work of the service of the house of God, both for the shewbread, and for the fine flour, for meat offering, and for the unleavened cakes, and for that which is baked in the pan, and for that which is fried, and for all manner of measure in size, and to stand every morning to thank and praise the Lord, and likewise at even, and to offer all burnt sacrifice unto the Lord in the Sabbaths, in the new moons, on the set feast by number, according to the order commanded unto them continually before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And that they should keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the charge of the holy place, and the charge of sons of Aaron, their brethren, in the service of the house of the Lord.
So we said that, this is their duty. It says in verse 32, and they should keep the charge of the tabernacle of the congregation, the charge of the holy place, the charge of the sons of Aaron, the brethren. So, they're dealing with the services of the Lord. But your question was in verse 28, right?
Mhm.
As far as in like the purifying of the holy things
Yeah.
and the work of the service of the house of God. And it's just mainly towards what was the purifying.
Mhm.
All right. Let's go ahead let's go to Levi. Because what they was doing, you know, they had to, not Levi, let's go to Numbers. They had to, certain things had to be done, you know, before it's presented to the Lord. You know, once they present to the Lord, it went through, you know, its stage of purifying. So let's look at, this was all things. Like, for instance, let's look at Exodus 24 real quick. Exodus 24. And let's pick it up at verse 1.
And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Ahab, and Abihu, and the 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye after all. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people of all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which the Lord hath said will we do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel.
Skip down to verse 7 and read that.
And he took the book of the covenant, and read in the audience of the people.
Read verse 6.
And Moses took half of the blood, and put it in basins,
Mm.
and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar.
So we see is that what in verse 5 it says, and he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offer burnt offerings, sacrifice peace offerings, oxen unto the Lord. So with that blood, he put in the basin and he sprinkled the altar. That's what we read in verse 6. What is in verse 7 though?
And he took the book of covenant, and read in the audience of the people. And they said, All the Lord has said, will we do, and be obedient.
Go
and
ahead.
Moses took the blood, and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant, which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses, and Aaron, Ahab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel.
So we see is that now, you know, the people sprinkle with blood. But what did the blood do? Let's go over to Hebrews chapter 9 real quick, because the blood, you know, it means something. You know, so that's why, you know, when he sprinkled the people, he sprinkled the altar, and then after he sprinkled the altar, he sprinkled the people. So let's go and look at this Hebrews chapter 9, and we're going to read, well, before we get to 22, let's start at verse 1. Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, yes, sir?
Yeah,
So-
it should have been there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. Hebrews 9 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service in worldly sanctuary.
Right.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick, and the table, and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary.
So we talking about, you know, at this point, we're talking about the tabernacle. And in tabernacle, in the first part of the tabernacle, you had, because that's what it said in verse 2, but there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was candlestick, the table, and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. And this is, you know, what Levi dealt with. You know, they dealt with the services of God. So that would include what we're reading in verse 2. But what is saying in verse 3 though?
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all.
So the second part of the tabernacle was behind the veil. And it's called what? The holiest of all, because that's where God is. You know, that's where God would come at. And they would sprinkle blood. They would take blood for the Day of Atonement once every year to this location behind the veil And that would represent the sin for the priests and the sin for the people. Alright, but what's in verse 4?
Which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant, overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the gold pot, the handmaiden, hand and manna, and Aaron's rod that budded manna, that, and the tables of the covenant, and over it the cherubims of glory, shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
So we talking about the second veil. This is what was behind it. Alright? But keep going over 6.
Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of God.
You see that? So like he's going into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of a God. You know, that's what we was reading in Chronicles. You know, is that, you know, Moses' sons was Levi, and they actually had to wait on Aaron's sons, who was also Levi as well. But they was all performing what services of God, because they was all Levi. So that's what we seeing in verse 6. But let's say in verse 7.
But to the second, the high priest alone.
So the high priest alone went into the second part of the tabernacle, which is behind the veil. Go ahead.
Once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the heirs of the people.
Skip down to now 20 and read that. Or read verse 20. Start at 20. Go ahead.
Saying, this is the blood of the testament which God hath enjoined unto you.
Wait.
Moreover, sprinkle with the blood both tabernacle and all vessels of the ministry. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission.
So we see that now what it says in verse 20, it says, saying, this is the blood of the testament which God hath enjoined unto you. Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry. So, you know, the blood in verse 22, it says, and almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission of sin. So we see is that, as to what we read in Exodus 24, is that once they were sprinkled, it's like their sins were purged. But it was somewhat cleansing them or purifying them. You know, because that's when they went into the covenant, or that's what sealed the deal with the covenant between them and God. Let's go over to Numbers real quick. Numbers real quick, because I just showing as far as in Numbers, far as in how, you know, the children of Israel, when they went into this covenant with God, you know, it's kind of like they did a form of purification. You know what, before we go to Numbers, let's go to Exodus 19 right quick. Because, yeah, they kind of did like a thing of purifying before, you know, they came before the Lord. Let's look at Exodus 19. And this is going to tie all into what we read in Exodus 24. Because I did just say purifying, so I wanted to show that. So let's look at Exodus 19. And let's pick it up at verse 10. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, go into the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes.
So now, you know, the Lord is telling Moses, like, you know, to go into the children of Israel and sanctify them. You know, and also what? Tell them to wash their clothes, because what? Verse 11.
And be ready against the third day.
Go ahead.
For the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai.
So on the third day, the Lord is going to come down. That's what we read in Exodus 24. You know what I mean? Like the Lord told Moses to take these animal sacrifices, then take the blood of that, sprinkle the altar, and then go and read the law to the people, and then they're going to say, we agree to do this, now sprinkle the people with blood. So this is, you know, all pertaining to when the Lord came down unto them on the third day. Keep reading though, verse 12.
And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death.
Skip down to 14 and read that.
And Moses went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes.
So Moses went down, sanctified the people, washed their clothes. What else it say?
And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives.
So come not at your wives, meaning don't go into your wives. Because if you go into your wives, what adults do, then you'll become unclean. So that's why he was saying, you know, sanctify yourself, wash your clothes, because now I'm fit to come before you on the third day. In other words, purify yourself. So the third day will come before you, but hey, don't go into your wives, because what you're going to make yourself unclean. So even the children of Israel, they went through, a stage or a form of purifying before they went before the Lord to go into that covenant. Now let's go into Numbers real quick. And they purified a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like they purified, let's go over here to Numbers. They purified a lot of things because this was just showing us that, they just bring anything to God. You know what I mean? Like whatever they brought to God, it had to be at its best. So let's look at hold on for a second. I'm trying to look at when they okay. Let's go over to Numbers 19. Numbers 19. Because even, the priests, they had to carry themselves in a certain type of manner. Because they was, working with the office of God. They was dealing with the holy things of God. That's what we saw in Hebrews chapter 9 is that, they was dealing with the services of God. So even they themselves had to be clean in the eyes of God. So let's look at it. Numbers chapter 9, and let's start at verse 1. I'm sorry, 19 and 1.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon whichever came yoke. And ye shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, and he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his
This
face.
ties all the way to today's prophets, as far as in what the so-called Jews over there doing in the land right now at the Temple Mount Institute. That, they got this red heifer. And this is where it all, of course, is all biblical, but this is, partial where some of it come from. But the same ordinance as to what they're using, we're reading it right here, and it's talking about what speaking to the children of Israel, they bring the red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. Meaning like this heifer never did any type of bondage, bound to feel any of that. Go ahead, verse 4.
Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And one shall burn heifer in his sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood with her dung shall he burn.
Go ahead.
The priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer.
Go ahead.
And then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water. Afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the evening. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean till evening.
Skip down to verse 11 and read. Read that, verse 11.
He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. If he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean.
Go ahead.
Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purify not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord, and the soul shall be cut off.
So we see is that we still dealing with man, how we ourselves are not me per se, but as to what we're reading pertaining to Levi, how they can become unpurified or unclean is by dealing with the dead. So what we saw in Chronicles, I don't know exactly if Chronicles was even talking about a particular type of purifying. I just know that Israel dealt with, the Levi, they dealt with a lot of purification. As far as in even with themselves, that they was amongst the dead, they supposed to, purify themselves. Like it says in verse 12, he shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he shall be clean. So even he had to go through a form of purification. We saw the children of Israel, they had to be some form purified before they went into the covenant with the Lord, before he came before them on the 3rd day. So now let's go over here and look at Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned. Hold on for a second. Let's go go to Leviticus. Leviticus, and what I'm doing, Sister Claire, just showing, different types of stages of purification as what occurred with the children of Israel or with the tribe of Levi, because they was doing a lot of services with the Lord, and a lot of the stuff they was doing, it had to be dead on point. I was trying to find where they was putting together the temple. That was a tent at first, not Solomon's temple, but the first temple, which Moses was under, or he was dealing with, and it was in a tent. And I'm trying to find that because they did. Hold on one second. They did a lot of purifying once they put the tent together, which was the first tent. And your question was, I just want to make sure I'm still on topic, is that you wanted to know what they were purifying in that first Chronicles?
I wanted to learn more about kind of like the role of, the different things they purified and stuff.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I am kind of on point with that. Okay, all right. Praise the Lord. Hold on one second. Each of their welfare, they came to tent. Those who come to the tent together, that they be done. Yeah, let's go to let's go to Exodus 26. What you was about to say?
I was about to say Exodus 40. Never mind.
You said what?
Exodus 40. Never mind.
Exodus 40? What is that?
I thought it was something about Moses could enter the tent. I know you said something about Moses in the tent. I didn't know something like that.
Nah, the Exodus 26, I think, is when he was actually building the tent.
Okay.
So Moses was Levi too.
Mhm.
He was like considered the high priest.
Yeah.
Well, I might be mistaken. I think Aaron was considered the high priest.
But Moses was Levi.
Yeah, Moses was Levi. Yeah. Yeah, let's look on. Exodus 26. I'm trying to see. We need to read all this because this is actually they putting together the tent right here. When you look at it, hold on for a second. Yeah, let's go look at
That's talking about the building.
that's talking about when they put it together.
So the Lord was very detailed.
Yeah, it was. Let's go get Leviticus 24 right. It was very detailed. Yep. And if it wasn't done right, we got issues. Let's look at Leviticus 24. Let's look at this oil, this olive oil. Olive oil. Let's look at without the veil testimony. Hold on. That's what I want to look at. I think it's Deuteronomy. Hold on one second. Pomegranate, the land of olive oils and honey, olive trees. Hold on for a second. I just had this, hold on for a second. Vineyards and olive trees, land shall anoint thyself with oil, for thy olive shall cast this. Let me see something, hold on for a second.
What you looking for?
We're on just did it in a class where, you know what? Hold on, I got my notes right here.
Was that Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy 28:4?
Nah. Hold on, I'm finna tell you right quick.
Okay, I got something on
I'm finna tell you right quick. I just did. Dang, it's ripped the page. That's crazy. Hold on for a second, sis. And again, what we're just looking at different ways of purifying as to what Levi did when it came to purifying.
Is it that Exodus 29:7?
What does it say?
Then shalt thou take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and anoint him, and thou shalt bring his sons and put coat upon them, and thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his sons, and put bonnets on them. The priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, and thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons, and thou shalt cause a block to be brought before the tabernacle.
Where you say that?
Exodus 29, like verse 7.
You said Exodus?
29, verse 7.
You said Exodus 29?
Yeah, verse 7. 29, verse 7, and on up through.
Oh, I got it. You said Exodus 29?
Yeah.
Okay, it's in Exodus 30 though.
Okay.
Exodus 30, and what we finna take a look at is how they how particular they were when they put together this olive oil. You know, they was very particular. Like they working for the Lord, so the Lord is giving them thorough instructions. Exodus 30, and start at verse 16. Here's the Lord spake, take principles of pure myrrh, cinnamon, calamus. Start at 21. Go ahead.
So
No, 22, I'm sorry. 22.
Moreover, the Lord spake unto Moses.
So we're in Exodus 30 and 22, and we're just looking at, you know, how this olive was, you know, made up to actually anoint, you know, Aaron's sons, the priest. So go ahead, start at 22, go ahead.
Moreover, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take thou also unto the principal spices of pure myrrh 500 shekels, and sweet cinnamon half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus 250 shekels.
So it says pure myrrh, you know what I mean, 500 shekels, sweet cinnamon half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus 250 shekels. What's that in 24 though?
And of cassia 500 shekels.
You knocked out.
Okay.
Oh,
That's good.
After the shekel of the sanctuary, and of oil, olive, and hin.
You see that? So now you know it's saying, and cassie 500 shekels after the shekel of sanctuary, and of olive oil, and a hin, 25.
And thou shalt make it an oil of holy ointment, and ointment compound after the art of the apothecary.
And that's like, you know, he's saying after the art. So kind of like your medicine mans or your doctors. how they, they grinding different herbs and things together. He's saying take it after the order of them. So you're gonna take all these different, spices and myrrh, and you're gonna mesh them all together, and you're gonna mix in the olive oil. So that's why it's saying at the bottom of 25, after the art of the apothecary, and it shall be called holy anointing oil. So this is now considered to be holy anointing oil. What is it in 26 though?
Thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation.
Go ahead.
And therewith, in the ark of the testimony, in the table, in all his vessels, in the candlestick, in his vessels, and the altar of incense.
So now you anoint all of this. Like you don't make holy oil. Now you anointing the tabernacle because this is holy. You know what I mean? They making it holy or consecrating it or purifying it in the eyes of God. So now it says what? It says therewith in the ark of the testimony and the table of the vessels and the candlestick and his vessels and the altar of incense. Verse 28.
In the altar of the burnt offering with all his vessels, in the laver in his foot.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt sanctify them that they may be most holy. Whatsoever toucheth them shall be holy.
You see that? So now they anointed with this holy oil. So it's like, shoot, whatsoever touch it, shoot, they gonna be holy. Verse 30.
And thou shalt sanctify them that they may
Verse
be,
30.
oh my bad.
You good.
And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them, and they minister unto me in the priest's office.
You see now that, that goes all the way back to that Chronicles. You know what I mean? Is that, they are now going to be anointed, Aaron's sons, and they're going to be consecrated. That means they are being purified. They are being set up to do, these services because they are Levi. So it says that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. Verse 31.
And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, this shall be in holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations.
So this is going to be a holy anointing oil throughout your generation. Check out what it says in verse 32.
Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it. After the composition of it, it is holy, and it shall be holy unto you.
So he's saying that you can make nothing like this or after this. Now it's going to clear itself up. It's not just saying like, you can't pour it on nobody else, because it's going to be specific as to who you can't pour this on. Verse 33.
Whosoever compounded any like it, or whosoever putteth any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people.
So that's what he's talking about when he's saying if you putting it up on a stranger, or even if you compounding it or making it after this same manner. Like this is it. This is a custom way. It ain't no other way that it can be made, because this is the Lord holy anointing oil. You know what I mean? And what he did with this anointing oil is he anointed the tabernacle, the ark, the testimony, the table, the candlesticks, the vessels, even Aaron's sons. And now he's saying that, you ain't supposed to put this up on those strangers or make a compound or compensation after the matter. Keep going.
And the Lord said unto Moses, take unto the sweet spices.
That's it on that. So that's, so it's a whole lot, sis. Like they was purifying a whole lot of different things when it came to, dealing with the services of God. Let's go over here to Kings real quick. Let's look at another example. In Solomon's temple. Because they had a dedication to the temple. Yeah, we don't have dedication. We don't deal with that today because we don't have no temple. You know what I mean? So they dealt with a dedication during the days of Moses, because they had a tent in the wilderness, and then you had Solomon. Solomon built the temple. He built the first temple, and it was things that he did once the temple was built. And we're gonna see is that Levi were the ones that took care of his business. So let's get on 1 Kings chapter. It might be in Samuel. It is in Samuel. 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel. let's look at, let me Google it. I'm trying to Google it right quick. Okay, it is in 1 Kings. 1 Kings chapter 6. Alright, 1 Kings chapter 6. And let's pick it up at where is it at? Ziph is the mine. Simon built his own house 13 years. He finished his house, and he built all the house of the first. All for a second, it was covered with. Yeah, Solomon made a nice crib, or a nice temple. Hold on for a
It's
second.
real nice.
Yeah, it's a lot. Hold on for a second, sis. I'm trying to. All right, let's chapter 8. It's in chapter 8. Let's let's start it on. Yeah, let's start at chapter 8. Start at verse 1 and we'll skip around. Go ahead.
And Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes and the chief of the fathers of the children of Israel unto the king Solomon in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is Zion.
So which is Zion, the city of David. You know, that's where the Ark of the Covenant was. But you know, we saw is that as to what we read in Exodus, is that also we read in Hebrews, is that in the temple, in the tabernacle, the veil was the second veil. You had the Ark of the Covenant, you had Aaron's rod that budded, you had manna, and you had the mercy seat. All this was in the second part of the sanctuary behind the veil. So we see is that now Solomon is having the Ark of the Covenant moved out of the city of David to his location. Verse 2.
And all the men of Israel assembled themselves unto King Solomon at the feast in the month of Ethanim, which is the 7th month.
Go ahead.
And all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark.
So
And
the priests, you know, the priest is Levi. You know, these are the ones who deal with the business of God. We're gonna go look at somewhere else where shoot, a man was killed because he touched the Ark of the Covenant because apparently, like, shoot, he wasn't Levi. You know, so he was killed on the spot because of him handling the Ark of the Covenant that was only supposed to be handled by a particular nation, and that was the tribe of Levi. So we see is that it even says, verse 3, and all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark. Verse 4.
And they brought up the ark of the Lord in the tabernacle of the congregation, and all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle, even those did the priests and Levites bring up.
You see that? The Levites, they bring this stuff up because they are the ones that's dealing with this. They're the ones that's dealing with the holy, you know, things of God. That's what they dealing with. Keep on though, verse 5.
And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep, oxen, and could not be told nor numbered for multitude.
So they sacrifice. Like it says, nor number for multitude. Meaning like Solomon was doing a lot of sacrifice. So it says, and King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel that was assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that not could be told nor numbered for multitude. Verse 6.
And the priests brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord unto his place, into the oracle of the house, to the most holy place, even under the wings of the cherubim.
So even under the wings of the cherubim, that goes back to that Hebrews chapter 9 as to how, you know, in the second part of the tabernacle, you had the veil, which was the most holiest place. You know what I mean? High priest was only able to go back there one time a year for an atonement, to atone for his sins, for the sins of the people. So we see in the same layout in Solomon's temple. So we see it says what? For the cherubs was spread. Where you was at? Verse 7?
That was verse 6.
Yeah, read. Okay, keep on.
The cherubim spread forth their two wings over the place of the ark. And the cherubim covered the ark in the stage thereof above. And they drew out the stage, and the ends of the stage were seen out in the holy place before the oracle.
Go ahead.
And they were not seen without. And there they are unto this day.
Keep going.
There was nothing in the ark, save the two tables of stone which Moses put there at Horeb, when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel, when they came out of the land of Egypt.
That goes all the way back to Exodus 24.
Mhm.
Oh, you got to to the baby?
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, that goes all the way back to, when the children of Israel, went to the covenant with God in Exodus 24. You get the dough for it? You get the dough for it?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Just think about that sandwich. You made your hoagie. Let's look at this on 2 Samuel real quick. Along the same lines, just looking at, how Levi, they was purifying a lot of things. They was dealing with God's business. So by them dealing with God's business, like God liked the best, and it had to be in order. And they was responsible for putting these things in order. So stuff had to be purified. It had to be, the best red heifer. It had to be the best goat. It had to be the best sheep. It had to be the best, because it's all presented for the Lord. That ties all the way back to the feast days. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we try to do our best. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? By bringing forth to the Lord our best. Mm-hmm. So, that goes all the way back to how we see Levi, how they dealt with, the service of God. We not saying that we Levi, but, when it comes to the Lord holy days, like, we try to do the best after the examples as to what Levi did in the days of Moses and in the days of when Levi was operating and doing the services for God. So look at this 2 Samuel real quick. 2 Samuel, because the Lord is very specific. Hey, look here, if you ain't Levi, like, you don't need to be dealing with this. And that's why God had a problem with Saul. You know what I mean? Because Saul was doing sacrificing. He had got impatient. He had got impatient with Samuel, and then he just started offering up sacrifices. And that's what pissed the Lord off, because that ain't your job. You Benjamin. Like, that's not Benjamin's job. That's Levi. So let's look at this 2 Samuel chapter 6. And let's read, start at verse 1. 2 Samuel 6 and 1. Go ahead.
Again, David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with people that were with him from Baal of Judah, to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts, that dwelleth between cherubim. And they set the ark of God up a new cart, and brought it out of the house of Abinadab, and that was in Gibeah. And Uzziah and Hiel, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart.
Go ahead.
And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God. And Ahiel went before the ark. Mm-hmm. And David and all the house of Israel played for the Lord on all manner of the instruments made of fir wood, even on the harps of the parchlites, psalteries, and on the timbrels, and on the cornets.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the cornets, and the cymbals. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzziah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, and the oxen shook it.
So oxen, oxen kind of probably lost his balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like oxen lost his balance. And Uzzah, shoot, he trying to catch it. What is it in verse 7?
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God.
So God killed him. But keep reading though, verse 8.
And David was displeased,
So David was displeased. Keep going.
because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah, and he called the name of the place Prezua, to this day. And David was afraid of the Lord that day, and said, how shall the ark of the Lord come to me?
So he gotta go to the drawing board. He's like, shoot, how we gonna do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's in verse 10?
So David would not remove the ark of the Lord unto him into the city of David, but David carried it aside unto the house of Obed-Edom, and the Gittite.
Go ahead.
And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom and the Gittite 3 months. The Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household.
So David, he trying to figure it out. It took him 3 months. Keep going, verse 12.
And it was told King David, saying, the Lord hath blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all the pertaineth unto him, because the ark of God. So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David with gladness. And it was so that when they that bare the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings. And David danced before the Lord with all his might. And David was girded with a linen ephod.
That's it on that ephod. But yeah, that's Lord wasn't playing. I gotta put this pin in there. Laid there, drunk that water. Stand on it. Alright, I know. Hold on.
Put the thing on.
Yeah, come on. There you go. Anybody got a question?
Jeremiah 8:20. I know the Call Sister made a song. There's a bomb in Gilead, a bomb in Gilead. I just want to see what the Bible.
Say about bone.
Yeah, what it really means.
Jeremiah 8:22.
Jeremiah 8:22. Yeah.
Let's start it on.
Or there's some type of fragrance or ointment.
It's the word.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's start on. Let's start at 15. Start 14.
Why do we sit still? Assemble yourselves. Let us enter into the fenced cities, and let us be silent there. For the Lord our God hath put us to silence, given us water of gall to drink, because we have sinned against the Lord. We looked for peace, but no good came, and for a time of health, and behold trouble. The snorting of his horses was heard from Dan. The whole land trembled at the sound of the not being of his strong ones, for they are come and have devoured land, and all that is in it, the city, and those that dwell therein. For behold, I will 7.
Go ahead.
For behold, I will send serpents, cockatrices, among you, which will be not charmed, and they shall bite you, saith the Lord. When I will comfort myself against sorrow, my heart is faint in me. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people, because of them that dwell in a far country. Is not the Lord in Zion? Is not the King in her?
Go ahead.
Why have thou provoked me to anger with the graven images and with strange vanities?
You know, Israel, we always be tripping. So, you know, the Lord is like, shoot, like, is not her king in her? You know, that's like a rhetorical question, because that's what the Lord is. He is in Zion. You know, he's the king. That's why it says, is not her king in her? Talk about in Zion. Why have they provoked me to anger? And their graven images with their vanities. Hold on for a second. Hold your finger right here. Let's go look at something. Why the Lord called her? Why the Lord called Zion her? Let's go ahead on. We're going to come right back.
Yes, chosen.
Let's look at I wouldn't put this in that class I had did too, but I did it about Abraham. I kept saying let's go to Galatians 4:20. Hold your finger right here, we're gonna come right back. I kept saying the motherland. A lot of people like, oh that we be talking about America. Or Africa. Nah, bro. Read Galatians 4:26.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all.
So that's why she's considered, you know, that's why, now I go back to Jeremiah. That's why in Jeremiah it says what? It says, is not the Lord in Zion, which is Jerusalem, Zion, is not her king in her, because she's the mother of us all, that land. That's the motherland. Why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and with their strange vanities? Verse 20. Jeremiah 8:20.
Sorry.
Nah, you good.
The harvest is past, the summer is ended. We are not saved.
Go ahead.
For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. Astonishment hath taken hold on me.
So I am black. You know, he said astonishment. That's Israel. You know, we are astonished. So it says what? Have taken hold of me. What is it in 22?
Is there no balm in Gilead?
Go
Is
ahead.
there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered?
Let's go over here to Hosea real quick. Now Hosea, Amos chapter 8. Amos chapter 8. Amos chapter 8, and pick it up at verse 11. Go ahead.
Behold, days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
So hearing of the words of the Lord, you know, that's the famine that's in the land. You know, that's why, you know, in that Jeremiah 8, you know, it was talking about what? Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician? Is there no physician there? Why is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered? Because it's famine. Like Israel, they weren't trying to deal with the word anyhow. You know what I mean? That's why the Lord was saying in what? In verse 19 at the bottom of that, he was like, why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and with strange vanities. You know, the harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. So it's kind of like the balm of Gilead. That's, positional. That's the word of God. That's what's going to heal them. That's how they're going to be saved, through the word. So now we come over here to Amos chapter 8, is just to look at why the land is a famine at this point. It's because there's no physician. Physician is the word of God. So now when you look at the land being famished, it's famished because what? The hearing of the words of the Lord. What does it say in verse 12 though?
And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro and seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. In that day shall their fair
That's it
vigor
on
burn.
that. Let's go over on Ezekiel real quick. It might be Ezekiel. Hold on.
Ezekiel 27.
I don't know. Might he?
27, 17.
Nah, let's go to Ezekiel 34. What you had? What you were just talking about?
That's my Ezekiel 27, 17.
What's that? I'm just curious.
Judah in the land of Israel, there was
No. Look at Ezekiel 34 though. Ezekiel 34, start at verse 1. Go ahead.
And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy, and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel, that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks?
So the shepherds, they should be feeding the flocks, but what? They feeding themselves. Verse 3, go ahead.
Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool.
You see
Ye
that?
kill them.
It said what? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Go ahead.
Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock.
So you ain't feeding the flock. In other words, you ain't feeding the flock the word. But this goes on as well as, to have some of these preachers taking advantage of people. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't even, they feeding themselves and not the flock. So that's what it said in the bottom of verse 3. It says, ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. Verse 4, go ahead.
Diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick.
See that? Like, you ain't even healed the ones that were sick, nor the disease. Keep going.
Neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them.
You have ruled over them with force and cruelty. See how you were supposed to heal the sick and ones that's diseased is by the word of God. Because you the shepherd, you supposed to be feeding the shepherd. What does say the Lord? You over the flock. You know what I mean? So how you gonna keep the flock fed? With the word. You know what I mean? But they weren't doing it. So that's why it says what? It says, disease have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away. So, the ones that ran away, like, no, I don't even deal with it. Like, you didn't even bring them back. You know what I mean? Because you was scattering the sheep. So you weren't being a good shepherd. What is that verse 5 though?
And they were scattered, because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field.
You see that? So now this is how we know that it's talking spiritual, because how did they come meat? They started dealing with other doctrines. They started partaking in other different gods. So that's why it's saying what? And they were scattered because there was no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. Verse 6.
My sheep wandered through all the mountains My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill.
What's going on up on the high hills? They worshiping other groves. They doing in idolatry.
Witchcraft, sorcery.
Right, that's what they doing up on these hilltops. Keep going.
Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them.
Keep going.
Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey.
That's it.
and my
So it's, that Balm of Gilead, that's just, the word of God. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying he ain't got no physician. What the physician? Let's go get on Hebrews real quick. Look at another book. Hebrews chapter 11. It's perfect right here. Not Hebrews chapter 11, Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews chapter 12. Oh, hold on. Hold on for a second. My bad. Hebrews chapter 4. Yeah, this part right here. Hebrews chapter 4, read verse 12. Go ahead.
For the word of God is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, into the joints and marrow.
See, that word is getting all down in there. You say the joints and the marrow. What else is it?
And is the discerner of the thoughts and the intent of the heart.
So it's the discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. That's what the word of God is going to do. You know what I mean? It's sharper than any two-edged sword. It's powerful. It's quick. You know what I mean? But you know, that's what it's talking about when they talk about
Born.
the balm of Gilead. Talking about the word. You know? But Sister Claire, when you get a chance, you can read that 2 Samuel chapter 6.
Okay. That
Where-
was
Where the man was killed, touching the ark of the covenant, and only Levi was supposed to be dealing with that business, that service. You know what I mean? And like, man just thought he was doing good service, and the Lord just killed him. Just ain't grab though.
Oh shit.
Oh, he was just trying to grab though. I was okay.
Wow.
Man, you know how you want to see me. Nah, I'm just playing.
I know.
But
I'm not even finna end that.
You good?
I'm not.
Good on that?
Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions?
I'm not.
I don't got comp. Well, I don't kick shoes out.
Turned it.
Julius did that.
I forgot I both went to church before we be swilling.
Got a question on me? Question, sir? Tom? Oh, you know what? My bad. It was a question online.
I mean, I was online. I ain't seen no question.
That's awesome. William Douglas, happy Sabbath. You really like family and children. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that, but I ain't seen no question. That's our brother William, like brother Douglas. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, my bad, brother Will. We gonna work on that.
It's still raining.
Yeah, you don't hear it? I'm scared of the mirror driving in the rain. I'm just playing. I was scared when you were driving.
Hold on now.
And now I'm just
I
playing.
did have a question. Maybe you can have more detail on these people. Last week I had asked about.
Since you up,
You wanna switch it, man?
Yeah, last week I had asked about a lineage of people, and I was wondering like, could they like a nation like today, like people like still like exist like today?
What lead your people?
Genesis chapter 25, Abraham's Keturah, his second wife, and
Genesis
then
25.
Who?
Genesis 25.
yeah, that's probably like, I still need to find them.
Genesis 25, what? You talking about Abraham's second wife? He got married after Sarah died?
Yeah. Yeah, but like we were talking about something else this week. I wanted to look at it this week, but she was talking about something else. I forgot all about it tonight. I was like, you want a question? I was like, well, it was a question that I had forgot about. I still ain't got no insight on like too much.
What, Genesis 25?
Yeah, just figuring out like
Verses.
Yeah, what verse?
1 through 4.
Okay.
And then
And what are the questions about that? 1 through 4.
like the sons, they're like they say they were a nation of people, and I was just wondering like, would you have any insight of like who could be?
Okay, let's read it. 25.
Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Median, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jokshan begat Sheba, and Dedan, and the son of Dedan were Ashua. No, Ashurim. And Letushan, and Leumim. And the son of Median, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abida, and Eldad. All these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac.
Go ahead.
Be unto the son of the concubines, which Abraham had. But unto the sons of concubines, which Abraham had, Abraham gave gift, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived, eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he had lived, 160 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man, and 40 years, and was gathered to his people.
Let's go over the numbers real quick. Numbers. You want to know their nation today?
And and to know where they would like be at, like someplace else, like in the Bible, like read about. I ain't saying I read about them, just like know. Okay.
Okay. Let's read Numbers chapter 1. And start at verse 18. Read that one verse. Go ahead.
And they assembled all congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the numbers of the names, from 20 years old and upward.
So they was able, it says, declared the pedigrees after their family by the house of their fathers. So, you know, as to what we read in Genesis 25, you know, that's Abraham's seed. So, I mean, they would very well be amongst us today. I don't know who they would be, but they would be Hebrews. You know, from what I would think, because you know they came out of Abraham.
Right.
You know, but when you look on from the spiritual realm,
We Israel. No.
yeah, we Israel. Or you can even say we Hebrews. You know what I mean? Because Jacob came out of Abraham.
Yeah.
You know, that was his granddaddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I say the spiritual aspect behind it is because, you know, the covenant. You know what I mean? How the covenant went. The covenant went from Abraham, Isaac to Jacob. You know what I mean? So even when you look at Esau, like Esau ain't Israel. He Idumean.
Yeah.
Or he Edom. You know what I mean? Yeah, he came out of Jacob, but the spiritual aspect, like, he wasn't serving the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
True.
You know, he was serving a whole nother God. But, you know, technically, yeah, he would be Israel because his father was Jacob. I'm sorry, his father was Isaac. No, I'm sorry, he wouldn't technically be Israel. He would be technically Hebrew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because his father, his granddaddy was Abraham. You know what I mean? His daddy was Isaac. So, like, technically, you know, he would be Hebrew, but from the spiritual aspect, you know, he you know, even from a physical aspect, like, he's Idumean. Like, he's Edom. Because when you look at Genesis, you know, it talks about two nations is going to be in the womb. You know what I mean? And he would be the nation of the Edomites, and Isaac would be the nation of Israel. And the covenant was passed from Abraham, Isaac, unto Jacob.
True.
So they would be a nation that's amongst us today, but you know, they would be Abraham's seed, which would, you know, possibly Hebrews.
So I was thinking about like the nation of people that's gonna help keep us like like I won't say safe in the wilderness, but kind of like let's get to the wilderness. I was kind of like maybe that could be like one of them, like when they need them, and then be to know like just to be on that board to be able to know like, hey, I mean just to know. I ain't gonna say it's gonna help me get in the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like give me like salvation on that day and things like that. But just know, just.
But even along them lines, the Bible tell you who that nation gonna be. It's gonna be. It ain't them. It's Ammon, Moab, and Edom. Those are gonna be the nations. Moab came out a lot. Edom came out Esau, and Ammon is on the Amalekites, I think.
Come on a lot.
Ammon do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, I know. Oh, I didn't know that. But I still don't know who they are. I still want to know.
Yeah, they
I still
would be.
want to know.
Where's my Bible at? Yeah, not mine. I'm talking about my Bible with the map in back. I think you got a map in your Bible too.
Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, and Jacob, Esau.
What you mean?
Like it's Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, then it's Jacob and Esau, like the brothers.
Well, then it's another set of family members I want to ask about too. And same thing in Genesis 25 because Abraham had a concubine by Hagar and.
Ishmael.
Oh, so that's Ishmael. Oh, yeah, they done. Yeah. But yeah, them set of people are the ones didn't figure out. So.
Ishmael?
No, we got Ishmael. I'm talking about the first one we were just talking
We
about.
were just talking about Genesis 25.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, them were the ones we didn't figure out, but yeah, we figured out the others.
Yeah, Ishmael. I mean, Genesis 25. You know, I don't know what people that would be today. You know what I mean? But I do know that they are of Abraham's seed.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, just like, Abraham had Ishmael and Hagar. You know what I mean? We know them as the Arabs. You know, according to Genesis, where he said, you know, his hand gonna be against his brother, he's gonna be a wild man, or something to that effect. But we know that. And then you look on the maps. If you look on the maps, you know, like Ishmael are the Arabs. That would be Abraham's son, you know, which would be of Abraham's seed. So the same situation occurred with Keturah in Genesis 25. You know, like that's Abraham's seed. I don't know what nation they would be named after today, because you got like Ishmael, Ishmaelites. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Isaac, who was on would be Hebrew. You know what I mean? Then his son Jacob would be the Israelites. You know what I mean? Then Esau would be the Edomites. But I don't know far as like in Genesis 25 what nation, you know, they would be as far as in today. But I do know as far as in what you were saying pertaining to the people are gonna be a covert. You know, they're gonna hide us out during time of the Great Tribulation. That is Ammon, Moab, and Edom. So as to Moab, I know came out a lot. As to what Julius said, Ammon came out a lot as well. You know, and on Edom, that came out of Esau. They actually have lands. So when you look on your map, if you look on your map, it kind of like, I don't like how the Bible map is because it kind of confused me.
Yeah, I know it do. It confused me too. I be looking at it like that.
But if you look at
The migration of Abraham.
if you look at the land, because I know where, here we go. Oh no, this map perfect. Yeah, I don't know why what the maps I was looking at, but I ain't even pay attention to the Holy Land map at the back of my Bible. If you look on the east side of the Dead Sea, so you have a map like this in the back of us. You probably got one. It might be like right behind that colorful map, the last one. It might be on the back of that. The last page. So if you look at the Holy Land, you know, you got Jordan, which is a country on the east side of Israel. What's separating them two is Jordan River. So down at the bottom of the Jordan River, you got what? The Dead Sea. Well, at the southeast of the Dead Sea, you got Moab, you got Idumea, and somewhere down here you got Ammon. So that's going to be the covert, or that's going to be the wilderness as to where we're going to be hid during the Great Tribulation period. So let's go over to Isaiah. back to you, Sharp, because I ain't really get all the way what you're saying. Go to Isaiah 16. I need a charge page. Give me a second. I gotta borrow somebody's block. Somebody charge the block. I need to use that battery charged all the way to my laptop.
Oh yeah, ain't no no.
What are you doing?
Hey, you chill. Hey, bro. You know what time it is. You ain't done yet.
All right, look at
It look like you done
Isaiah 16. Let's start at verse 1. Isaiah 16, verse 1. Go ahead.
See ye the lamb to the ruler of the land, from Selah to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughter of Zion.
Go ahead.
For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out the nest, so the daughter of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon.
Keep on.
Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast.
So we the outcast. So it's talking about, hide us. But it's saying what? So the daughters of Moab shall be the boys of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast. Keep going though. Verse 4.
You want me to finish that verse?
Nah, you good. All right.
Let mine outcast dwell with thee. Moab, be thou a convert to them from the face of the spoiler.
You see that? So like now it's like a covert or a covering or, we hid amongst them. But it says what? It says, let my outcast dwell with them, which will be Israel. We the outcasts, we run for our lives.
Yeah.
So Moab would be a covert. Keep going though. It says for the extortion at the end. Go ahead.
For the extortion is at the end. The spoiler casteth the oppressor, are consumed out of the land.
Let's go to Daniel chapter 11 right.
Say Daniel chapter
11. 11 and
Anyway.
started at 40. Start at 36.
36. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the gods, and shall prosper to the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the gods of his fathers, nor the desire of women.
So we talking about the Great Tribulation at this point. Alright, so it says in verse 36, it says the king shall do according to his will. The king at this time is going to be Pope. And he's going to be the king over the whole entire earth, the religious leader. It says he's going to be doing according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god. So this is just letting us know the time frame, the period of end time prophecy we're dealing with, the Great Tribulation, because now he's ruling. Right. He's ruling. So now skip down to verse 41 and read that.
He shall enter also into the glorious land.
So glorious land is Jerusalem. You know what I mean? Like he's going to enter into the glorious land. The Pope is. And what else it says?
And many countries shall be overthrown.
Go ahead.
But these shall escape out of his hand.
So these shall escape out of his hand. Many countries are going to be overthrown, but these countries, they're going to escape. Meaning these countries are not going to be overthrown. What other countries?
Even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon.
So these are the countries that are not going to be overthrown. They're going to escape out of the hands of, the ruler, the religious king at this point. They're going to escape out of his hand. My phone right there, if I share too. They're going to escape. They're going to escape out of the king who's ruling at this time. They're going to escape out of his hand. These countries is Edom and Moab and Ammon. Verse 42, go ahead.
He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the country and the land of Egypt shall not escape.
So even the land of Egypt is not going to escape. So what it's talking about is just talking about like these three countries, you know, Edom, Moab, and Ammon. These are going to be coverts, because that's what we saw in Isaiah 16. We just saw one country, which was Moab, but we know it's going to be just more than Moab. It's going to be Edom, Moab, and Ammon. These are going to be coverts or locations that the children of Israel are going to be kept in a location during Great Tribulation to hide out from Great Tribulation. But that will be at the southeast part of the Dead Sea. If you're looking at Jerusalem, you follow the Jordan River all the way down till it runs into the Dead Sea.
You go a little further east, you got like Mongolia and stuff.
Right.
What about going to Mongolia to be safe by that area?
Right.
Still thinking about moving to Mongolia.
You still thinking about moving to Mongolia?
Still thinking about just be cool.
You might blend right in.
Hey, I seen how they live over there.
I know one thing. Better not be there when the Great Tribulation take off.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, cause boy, that 200 million man army gone.
Yeah, they go.
They gonna kill up everything that's
Straight through them.
They gonna run straight through Jordan, kill up everything, straight into Israel, sack the houses, rape, ravage the women. They gonna do all that. So that wouldn't be a bad idea.
And Germans gonna do them nasty.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. You being right there, you could just that might be like a bus ride.
Honestly, it sounds like what Germans getting ready to do to them, like how they finna just like ransack Jerusalem with that 200 million army. It's like the Lord doing like the Romans, like what they did at us back in 70 AD. Like when they came down.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, like for real, like they finna come through and do you the same exact way.
They finna
Like,
come through.
like y'all remember this night?
Right.
For real.
Right. And like what's gonna take place at that time, you're gonna have 10 nations or 10 armies that represent Rome. They can be occupying that land at that point, and that's when it's gonna be God's army, which is gonna be that 200 million army.
They gonna be all
and it's
of
gonna be against 10 nations that represent the 10 armies that represent 10 nations. They're gonna be warring it out.
And they gonna be doing all that stuff they did that back in 70 AD.
Yeah.
And people still gonna get caught out in this tribulation. The sun will rise.
Say it again.
I said people are still gonna be caught out of this moment with all these wars going on, and some are gonna like know the truth and survive. I'm saying.
Yeah. Cause at that point, when it's like the Great Tribulation is over with, when the 200 million man army hit, that's the end of the Great Tribulation. Because now, you know, God is releasing His wrath. You know what I mean? So 200 million man army, that's part of God's wrath. So like at that point, you know, people would have done made out of, you know, Great Tribulation and may have found, I don't know, a location or, you know, what, however they would get away from it. But I do know that if they made out that that 200 million man army ain't gonna hit Jerusalem until I think at the sound of the sixth trumpet. Cause that's when they're gonna drive the river Euphrates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I think it's either the sixth or the fifth trumpet. Is that he's gonna drive the river Euphrates. And when he drives the river Euphrates, that's when he's gonna allow that army, the 200 million man army, they're gonna walk over on dry land. Yeah.
What? I ain't trying to get to Jerusalem at that time.
No.
Or Mongolia. I just trying to catch a little bus ride, you know. Time to go. Bus leave 30 minutes, maybe we gotta go.
Yeah, we got about a 2-hour bus ride. I'll be there early.
For real. I think how they live over there, man, it's peaceful, man. You know, they got the little tents. And you can still get your Wi-Fi. I can just zoom in.
Yeah, the sixth, at the center of the sixth, ain't the sixth trumpet.
What?
That's what you say.
But what you was saying, Ashard, you good on that?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
No, I'm good on what I was saying. I was talking about.
You was saying something about Abraham, Ishmael,
I was talking about how it all played out. You know, Abraham, they got Isaac, Ishmael, and then from Isaac, Jacob, and Esau. I was talking about that.
oh, from Isaac to Jacob.
Yeah, and that's how it all goes.
Yeah, because Ishmael and Isaac was brothers.
Yeah,
Jacob and Esau was brothers.
yeah, that's what I was talking
But
about.
yeah, it went from Isaac, Jacob, to the 12 tribes. Yep. Any other questions?
So the book of Isaiah is like, What time frame was that? Like, I know in the beginning it probably tell you, like, but like, what
During the period of Isaiah,
yeah, like history.
I
I can get an idea. Cause there's something I want to show somebody in Isaiah. Cause I know they gonna ask when I go back to them.
I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know Jeremiah.
I know Jeremiah was in the days of Nebuchadnezzar. He was in captivity.
I was just about to say, I know he is now. It's it right now. But like with
Jeremiah, Ezra, it's another. It's Daniel.
he was doing Nebuchadnezzar. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He told him wait no. Okay, when he the one that told him the dream? Like he told him with the man.
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, he went to one.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was in captivity doing Nebuchadnezzar.
I was
I think Nehemiah might have been in there too.
I was thinking about somebody else who used to tell dreams to Pharaoh. Well, who know what they used to tell dreams to Pharaoh? Like
Joseph.
Joseph. You tell Pharaoh dreams.
I don't know what time frame was on Isaiah, as far as when it comes to history.
I thought about that. You know, he got a lot of future prophecy in there.
Yeah, he do. Yeah, he do. He talk about.
For real, like he give all the insight.
Real deal. Lord knows that's something.
For real.
Yeah, talking about wilderness, talking about, you know, our Lord.
Return of the Lord.
He gonna whoop Esau up and
For
sacrifice
real,
him, man.
like.
Yeah,
He
he
ain't talking about the rest.
Jesus.
No. Yeah, he's talking about the rest too.
Yeah, he talking about his house being a nation for all people, like
Yeah.
prayer. I'm like, yeah, he talking about it all. He saw everything, man. He know the whole school, man.
I just want to know how Jacob turned the rest of the angel to get his name changed.
And he had to fight with me, man. He didn't even know. It was probably some ignorant joke. You stepped on my symbols, bro.
He probably want to be. He probably one of them top-notch angels. You see how the angel had pull out some power and smoke him in the hip, and he knocked his hip out of joint.
Yeah.
He probably was an angel the same size as Jacob. You know what I mean?
They were
Like,
weighing him out.
yeah, yeah.
They were weighing him out. He had to do something. He got with the Don. Like, like then he wasn't sitting there.
First of all,
He wouldn't let him go.
He ain't run like team.
He wouldn't let him run man. Like, nah, bro, you got
That
TV.
far.
I mean, it made sense because his son was ruthless too. How he did them boys.
Yeah. Levi Simmons.
Yeah, how they did the boys. So I can
Yeah.
see, but hey, I don't want no beef with them, but them boys will fight till Jesus return.
They probably that deal. He probably was a big dude too.
Right, he better fight you the sun up. I'm at the sun up, or he'll fight you to Jesus return, bro.
Yeah, nah.
For real, I guarantee you.
Born to do it.
I don't even argue with
They
you.
come in different forms though. Like, you know, they come in, because when they came with, it seemed like, shoot, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Abraham wasn't afraid.
Nah, he
You know what I mean? When they appeared to Abraham, the plains of memory, like he wasn't afraid, so they probably didn't come at Jacob and Abraham how they came at Mary. You know what I mean? How they came at Mary and Joseph and them boys, because they were scared. You know, like Samson parents. You know what I mean? Like they was trembling when they saw the angel. Like, shoot. Oh, like, you know, so they probably didn't come in that form.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably came in for Jacob to be wrestling with an angel, and he probably didn't come in that type of form.
They probably can.
He had to get Jacob off on him. It's like Jacob was winning.
Right. That's why I said, hey,
What it seemed like.
man.
He did hit Jacob hip and he moved him out of the spot. So Jacob probably was a big guy. You know what I mean? So he probably had the spirit of the Lord on him to where, because you see how Samson, Samson ripped the lion off of him. He slew a lion and a bear. Yeah, then he slew a lion, or was that David? No, David killed the lion, but Samson slew a lion and a bear.
Yeah.
So he had the spirit of the Lord on him.
Yeah,
So-
that boy strong.
so
That boy strong, boy. That boy man. That boy on that
Jacob
man.
probably had
Bro.
that same spirit
Man, I'm
on
mad
him.
he took short of his secret though, man.
Once when David sold
He didn't have to do that, man.
He jumped in the lion's pit.
He had to. Me, oh.
You talking about the riddle?
Like he jumped in the lion's pit, it was snowing, and he killed the lion. Like one of David's mighty men. I forget his name. One of his mighty men. Jumped in the pit, and killed the lion.
I don't know.
Wait, you know how the game got started? They used to take us to the arena and throw us in those lines and stuff like that during that time.
Yeah,
Oh, the
there was a lot of
Coliseum. Yeah, like, they don't show that in the movies. Like they just show a random person in the show y'all celebrating in there. Y'all
Yeah,
throwing out
that's how they
profits
was
in
doing
there,
it.
celebrating,
In the night.
That's how it was
giving
doing
him
the
a
gladiator
dusty
game.
sword and 2 lions to fight.
Oh, okay. Benaiah was left-handed, one. Then they said he was left-handed. He was. They said he was a man of valor.
I know he jumped in the lion's pit, killed.
That's what I'm talking about. They say he was a man of valor, meaning he had some skills.
Oh yeah.
'Cause they said, I think they said he was left-handed. Left-handed, and he was good with. I think it said something like that. But
Yeah, they was all had like a different skill, all the mighty men.
yeah, they say he a man of valor. I mean, they ain't get killed, boy. Like Joel was.
You want them to do it like
Joel was a
sport
killer
too.
too.
It was a sport to them.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord with the one skin line.
Yeah.
And you got the Lord with you. And you strong and athletic. I bet, wow. Them boys.
Any questions, comments?
But I'm glad I live in my time frame, though. I think about it now, like, I can do it. I mean,
You don't know.
They probably about the same.
What's that?
Almost. Talking about back then.
I'm glad I'm in my
Like
time
this
period.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Not when it was throwing like
Yeah,
people inside.
nah.
Nah, I'm
Not
glad
like
I'm
that
like,
part. I mean like
It is the GMO generation.
yeah, like they look at us, they're probably like we soft.
Yeah.
For real.
They probably think y'all like y'all little and frail.
For real.
Yeah.
Hey, we go eat.
Seriously, nigga. GMO
Y'all came out with skinny jeans. Y'all ain't got no meat on y'all bone.
Hey, y'all generation 2 still ain't up to par with them. Y'all still small compared to them. For real, y'all still small. For real, them boy big.
They said Saul's pretty tall. In the Bible, it says tall.
Calling all other things.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, we got smaller and our life expectancy short.
Made me think how big was Canaan.
They said they were giants.
Yeah, he had to be like 7'5" Wallow.
They all
were
gone?
taller than that.
8 feet.
Goliath was, I think I had did the measurement of Goliath. I think Goliath was almost like 12 feet tall.
Come on, they kill them all?
You did all?
Yeah, I think it
Big
was
old
like.
brother down. What do you cool out pillows and push them pillows down?
They go look at it since we ain't got
12 feet.
Yeah, you know, we ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm like, well, they killed all the tall. The world try to kill all the tall people.
12.
Oh, but Marcus got it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, man, them boys, you don't get you people tall like that no more, man. You don't.
Man of the giants.
But they say we can. How they say we evolved, we got smaller? That just don't make no sense. If you look at humans back in the day, but we were breaded up, but we was way healthier and bigger. How we evolved? If we evolved the crackheads.
Y'all the GMO babies.
For real, like it's crazy.
I said, I feel like you getting bigger.
Huh?
You know, the new generation is getting kind of big, man.
Bro, that's just your family, bro.
Nah. Big kids out there, man.
I'm messing with that. And I was some different.
It's kind of land of the giants.
What was that? 1 Samuel 17?
First one,
It might be the last one.
Ooh.
1 Samuel 17. Nobody ain't got none of this.
What's the chapter again?
17. And read verse 4.
And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and they span.
Hold on. So one cubit is 1 feet 6 inches. It's just 1 cubit.
1 foot 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how many you say he was?
He was 6 cubits in span.
Wow, yeah, he tall.
Nah, bro.
Pretty tall, man. Ain't nobody like
He
that.
ain't taller than 8 feet.
That's all it was glide.
It say 6 cubits is 3 yards, bro.
It was about 12. Hey.
About 9 feet, 9 inches.
6 feet, 1.8 meters.
Hmm?
6 feet, 1.8 meters.
Sorry, not for 9.
What you say? You said 9.
Not 9.
That might be.
10 feet.
And the sand though. I don't know what sand.
That's like, I think like with something like that.
Man, them boys were strong back then, bro. So I be watching anime. Them boys really did used to be that big back then doing the side. Yeah. I wonder
like
what
animals
was
was
the
the same
Chinese.
size too. Or they got smaller.
Nah, they say the Canaanites had to stay in the land and kill the animals. So that mean the animals was probably big. They say that? Canaanites had to stay in the land.
Yeah, if they would have wiped out all, it say that in the Bible that if they wiped out all the nations, the animals would have wiped out Israel.
Yeah, so the animals
what?
was huge.
Like, in the Bible it say about how if the Lord would have wiped out all the nations, then left Israel, the animals would have took out Israel. So they had to keep some of them nations in the land just to keep it out of balance. Causing with the animals, cause you just think you in the night time, man. That doggone man just come and just take about 5 kids.
Oh yeah.
Just keep picking them off.
Eat them big folks.
Yeah, so they need Canaanites in the land just to, be a type of defense. Not just for them, but everybody.
There was some big boys though. They ain't just had to finish boy had some big yeah.
Yeah, cause it said what? Nimrod was mighty hunter for the Lord.
Hmm?
I mean, he was
a bad boy.
He was good with the knife, with the spear, hunting down animals. That was big, man.
That is
You walk around with a doggone real lion head on your head as a jacket or something. That probably speaks some type of loyalty as to your rank and how good you are with killing these animals. Mm-hmm. But yeah, though, it say that in the scriptures about how the Lord had to lead the nations in the land because animals would have killed Israel if it was in nobody else. They would have wiped them out.
That is true, because we couldn't even imagine how to even survive to live in Africa nowadays, because we live in America like we spoke, but we was in that kind of environment.
You always gotta be thinking survival.
I wouldn't even go outside. I wouldn't. I'd be too scared. I'm honest. I'd be too scared.
You probably be
For
immune
one,
to it by now though.
you know how many hawks and stuff like that? You gotta think, bro. You can't take kids outside till he probably like 13, because you got birds that'll come and grab them. If your child wait about, under 100.
Remember Nemo? Nemo brought like 4 little small cats to the house. I swear, boy, it was a couple of days, a week, boy, they were gone. Yeah, one left. They were like, "What happened to them cats?" I said, "Boy,
Hey, them hawks be playing.
Them up.
oh yeah."
Yeah, I was
I've
getting
seen them
big too.
things.
See?
Yeah, them things big, man.
But your child wait under 100 pounds, he ain't
That's
go
Nemo.
outside.
Them things got snatched up
But he about
eagle or
13.
owl or something. Or
So
he
he
used to
can
be in
hunt.
my tree in that
For
year.
real. So my child can hunt, that's when you can go outside and play.
And they were real small, like they
Like
can't
kids, huh?
like.
But I bet how they raised their
with
kids
no
back then
sense,
though.
you know?
They couldn't just
Yeah,
go outside
they
and
done.
play
Yeah,
like
so 3 of them gone.
Yeah, lunch.
You could.
Yeah, they were eating.
yeah, like when you get locked. Bro, my 3-year-old can't do it. Bro, my 6-year-old son couldn't play outside. No.
Right.
A bird come get him. An owl. It's about owls that half the size of a 6-year-old.
Yeah, that'd be good.
There's some big owls in the world, but owl come. No.
Especially back then. Animals was big.
Mm-hmm. I gotta know how to fight first. Well, you gotta go outside for real, for real. Not man, just animals. Damn.
All right, well, let's go and close out if we got no more questions. I always say it.
Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom
thy
come,
will be done in earth,
thy will be done on earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
Praise the Lord, God of Israel.
Praise the Lord God of
For
Israel.
he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures
In
forever.
Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
The Holy One of Israel.
The Holy One of Israel.
King of kings.
King of kings.
The Lord of lords.
The Lord of lords.
The one true God.
The one true God.
And there is no other.
There is no other.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
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 In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.